High up in the mountains, hidden among the trees near a roaring stream, stands a humble hut built on gnarled logs. Its kogon thatch roof is covered with branching gourd vines, heavy with flowers and fruit. Inside, a Tagalog family makes their home, earning their living by hunting and cutting firewood. The hut's rustic decor speaks of their lifestyle. Deer antlers and wild boar skulls with long tusks adorn the walls. Outside, in the shade of a towering tree, the family's grandfather skillfully weaves brooms from palm leaf fibers. Nearby, a young woman carefully places eggs, limes, and fresh vegetables into a wide basket. Two lively children, a boy and a girl, play cheerfully in the yard. Their laughter contrasts sharply with the somber mood of another child seated on a fallen tree trunk. This pale, sad boy with large, deep-set eyes is Basilio, son of Sisa and brother to Crispin. His thinned features bear witness to recent hardships. The little girl approaches Basilio, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "When your foot gets well," she says, "we'll play hide and seek. I'll be the leader." Her brother chimes in, "You'll go up to the top of the mountain with us and drink deer blood with lime juice. You'll get fat, and then I'll teach you how to jump from rock to rock above the torrent." Basilio manages a sad smile, glancing at his injured foot before turning his gaze to the brilliant sun above. The grandfather, finishing a broom, calls out to the young woman, "Sell these brooms and buy something for the children. Tomorrow is Christmas, after all." "Firecrackers! I want some firecrackers!" the little boy exclaims, jumping up and down. His sister tugs at the young woman's tapis, pleading, "I want a head for my doll." The old man turns to Basilio, his voice gentle. "And you, what do you want?" Basilio stands up slowly, wincing as he puts weight on his injured foot. "Sir," he says hesitantly, "I've been sick for more than a month now, haven't I?" The grandfather nods, his eyes filled with kindness. "Since we found you lifeless and covered with wounds, 2 moons have come and gone. We thought you were going to die. May God reward you, for we are very poor," Basilio replies gratefully. He pauses, gathering his courage. "But now that tomorrow is Christmas, I want to go to the town to see my mother and my little brother. They must be looking for me." The old man's brow furrows with concern. "But, my son, you're not yet well, and your town is far away. You won't get there by midnight." Basilio's eyes fill with determination. "That doesn't matter, sir. My mother and my little brother must be very sad. Every year we spend this holiday together. Last year, the 3 of us had a whole fish to eat. My mother will have been mourning and looking for me." The grandfather tries to dissuade him. "You won't get to the town alive, boy. Tonight we're going to have chicken and wild boar's meat. My sons will ask for you when they come from the field." But Basilio is resolute. "You have many sons, while my mother has only us 2. Perhaps she already believes that I'm dead. Tonight I want to give her a pleasant surprise, a Christmas gift, a son." Moved by the boy's words, the old man places his hands on Basilio's head, his voice thick with emotion. "You're like an old man. Go, look for your mother, give her the Christmas gift. From God, as you say. If I had known the name of your town, I would have gone there when you were sick. Go, my son, and may God and the Lord Jesus go with you. Lucia, my granddaughter, will go with you to the nearest town." The children, hearing this, crowd around Basilio. The little boy tugs at his sleeve. "What? You're going away? Down there are soldiers and many robbers. Don't you want to see my firecrackers? Boom, boom, boom!" The girl joins in, her voice pleading. "Don't you want to play hide and seek? Have you ever played it? Surely there's nothing any more fun than to be chased and hide yourself?" Basilio smiles, but tears glisten in his eyes as he picks up his staff. "I'll come back soon," he promises. "I'll bring my little brother. You'll see him and play with him. He's just about as big as you are." "Does he walk lame too?" the little girl asks innocently. "Then we'll make him it when we play hide and seek." As Basilio prepares to leave, the old man presses a package into his hands. "Don't forget us," he says warmly. "Take this dried meat as a present to your mother." The children accompany Basilio to the bamboo bridge spanning the noisy stream. Lucia supports him as they cross, and soon they disappear from the children's sight, Basilio walking as quickly as his bandaged leg allows. Meanwhile, in the town of San Diego, a chill north wind whistles through the streets, making the inhabitants shiver. Despite it being Christmas Eve, the town is wrapped in gloom. No paper lanterns hang from the windows, and no sounds of celebration can be heard from the houses. In Capitan Basilio's home, he and Don Filippo stand by a window grating, deep in conversation. Their recent misfortunes have made them unlikely friends. At another window, Sinang, her cousin Victoria, and the beautiful Ide gaze out at the moonlit street. "Yours is not a little good fortune to get off free in these times," Capitan Basilio remarks to Don Filippo. "They've burned your books, yes, but others have lost more." Their conversation is interrupted by the sight of a woman approaching the grating. Her eyes glitter eerily in the moonlight, her features gaunt and her hair disheveled. Don Filippo starts in surprise. "Sisa! Wasn't she in the house of a physician? Has she been cured?" Capitan Basilio's smile is bitter. The physician was afraid they would accuse him of being a friend of Don Chrysostomo's, so he drove her from his house. Now she wanders about again as crazy as ever, singing, harming no one, and living in the woods. As Sisa's melancholy song fades into the distance, a limping boy runs toward the plaza. It's Basilio, who has finally reached the town only to find his home deserted and in ruins. After many inquiries, he learned only that his mother was insane and wandering about. Of Crispin, not a word. Choking back his tears, Basilio sets out in search of his mother. As he asks about her, he hears her haunting song. The boy's heart leaps, and he runs to throw himself into his mother's arms, momentarily forgetting the pain in his injured foot. Sisa, lost in her madness, doesn't recognize her son. She flees in terror when a soldier approaches, and Basilio gives chase. They run through the town, past barking dogs and curious faces peering from quickly shuttered windows, until they reach the outskirts. In the mysterious wood of the Ibarra family, Basilio follows his mother's shadowy form, revealed intermittently by shafts of moonlight penetrating the dense foliage. They cross a murmuring brook, sharp thorns piercing Basilio's bare feet, but he presses on, his eyes fixed on his mother's figure. To Basilio's surprise, Sisa plunges into the thick undergrowth and passes through a wooden gateway that opens into an old Spaniard's tomb at the foot of a balete tree. When Basilio tries to follow, he finds the gate fastened shut, his mother defending the entrance with all her might. "Mother, it's I! I'm Basilio, your son!" he cries, beating at the gate with his fists and his blood-stained head. But Sisa does not yield. In desperation, Basilio climbs a nearby tree and makes his way to the balete. Letting himself fall, he ignores the pain and catches up to his mother. He takes her in his arms, covering her with kisses before losing consciousness. The shock of seeing her son's blood-stained forehead stirs something in Sisa's addled mind. A spark of recognition flashes in her eyes, and with a terrible cry she falls upon Basilio's insensible body, embracing and kissing him. When Basilio regains consciousness, he finds his mother motionless. He calls to her with the tenderest names, but she does not wake. With growing terror, he listens for her heartbeat, feels for her breath, but finds nothing. The miserable boy throws his arms about the corpse and weeps bitterly. As Basilio mourns, a wounded man approaches. "Are you her son?" he asks in a weak voice. When Basilio nods, the man continues, "I'm dying too. Listen, 20 paces from here there's a big pile of firewood. Bring it here, make a pyre, and burn our bodies. Afterwards, dig here. You'll find gold, take it and go to school." The unknown man's voice grows fainter as he turns his face to the east. "I die without seeing the dawn brighten over my native land," he murmurs. "You who have it to see, welcome it, and forget not those who have fallen during the night." As the man breathes his last, Basilio is left alone with the weight of his grief and an uncertain future. the night that brings joy and celebration to so many families, has brought only orphanhood to this poor boy. 2 hours later, as dawn breaks, Sister Rufa stands on her back veranda, preparing for morning mass. She notices a thick column of smoke rising from the adjacent wood and exclaims indignantly, "What heretic is making a clearing on a holy day? That's why so many calamities come. You ought to go to purgatory and see if you could get out of there, savage." Little does she know of the tragedy and sacrifice that the rising smoke represents, or of the young boy whose life has been forever changed on this Christmas morning.